John is a disgusting and terrible hypocrite who abuses his platform by using his clout to groom and prey upon underage boys.
The internet is cruel and dangerous, but when it comes to bloggers and influencers, people with a big following, it seems like they can't be dangerous. They post vids and photos of themselves, they communicate with their audiences and go live, so it makes you think that you know them very well. But for real, you don't. That is why the internet is so dangerous. There are so many creeps out there who can take advantage of underage kids. And here is a situation like that. This is the Glamorous Channel. So what is that dangerous guy who deserves to be canceled and blocked for good? Let's check all the facts. Stay tuned to know all the details. Recently, a few people shared their stories about Joe Rob, aka John Robert Bell's situation, and it is pretty terrible. He is a TikToker with over 4 million followers who'd often call out other people for misogyny and sexual assault. But if only others knew that he is a hypocrite and dangerous to society. Recently, it was revealed that Joe Rob is accused of grooming and predatory behavior towards minors. Here's a few stories that show the real Joe Rob. The first person who decided to speak out was Dylan. Dylan and Joe Rob were texting for a while on Snapchat, and then Joe Rob invited Dylan to his daily Zoom chat that he does with other TikTok friends. But then Joe Rob asked Dylan if he wanted to celebrate his 18th birthday with him, and he proposed to get an Airbnb. It sounds pretty weird and creepy because Dylan was only 17 at the time while Joe Rob was 26. But wait, the trip was meant to be with other people. But eventually, Dylan figured out Joe Rob wanted to stay the night only with him alone. Here is a screenshot of his messages with Joe Rob that Dylan shared. Here we can see these two talking about who they need to invite to Dylan's b-day. Then Joe Rob said that he has found a only 1-bedroom place and said there would only be room for the two of us and that this place is cheaper, so they have lots of money to do fun things. But Dylan said he would prefer something with 2 rooms, and then Joe Rob changed the subject without addressing it. However, a bit later, Joe Rob kept on pressing Dylan about the Airbnb, but eventually gave up trying. As for these Zoom calls, there were about 12 people and everyone was so young, from 15 to 19. And it's also pretty creepy that it's a 26-year-old guy in the call with a bunch of kids. And once he even suggested everyone to have a PDSM test score and test and send them the results so he could see their kings. Absolutely creepy. Another person who decided to speak on the same situation was Melina. She was part of that Zoom group Dylan was talking about. At that time, Melina was only 16, and she met Joe Rob in a group chat of kids between the ages of 13 and 19. She said that the group was super active because Joe Rob has a huge following. Melina says that he'd offer Airbnb meetings with alcohol and hot tubs. Moreover, she says he would make inappropriate comments during Zoom calls, like sexual comments about certain people or about himself, and he also tried to get them to call him hot. And one more story from Coco. Coco was super excited when J-Rob followed him back on TikTok because, well, you understand why. Coco was a big fan of his. Coco messaged J-Rob and asked him if he wanted to play Minecraft together. These two were playing Minecraft and talking till very late at night, and obviously Coco was sure he made a really great friend. But then J-Rob started asking really personal questions about his family and whether his parents would allow him to travel alone. Then, as always, J-Rob offered Coco to buy a room together and even to buy him alcohol. Luckily, they never met. When Coco saw Dylan's TikTok, he realized what J-Rob was doing to him, and that is why Coco decided to share his experience with J-Rob as well. He also shared what J-Rob said about buying alcohol and sharing a room together. He said, "I may be a pastor or I may work for God, but I'm not against kids having fun." Thanks for staying to the end of this video. If you want to know even more crazy info about your favorite celebs, don't forget to hit the subscribe button.